Perfectionism is the thief of progress. If you are waiting to have it all figured out before you start transforming your life, you are going to miss the healing that's already waiting for you and your child. Today, we are diving into the food side of your rebalance, why it matters, how to support your healing, and why the food side should never be the reason you hold yourself back. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start. Welcome to the Follow Your Gut podcast, the show for the woman who's ready to stop outsourcing her and her family's health and start leading it. I'm your host, Juniper. Every week, I'll teach you how to understand your body and your child's symptoms through the lens of the gut so you can take clear, confident steps towards real healing. This isn't about chasing symptoms or following trendy protocols. This is about foundational healing, where we get to the root of it all, your gut. I am so happy you're here. Let's dive in. Maybe you are here because you have been thinking about rebalancing, but the food side has felt too overwhelming and it's been holding you back. Or maybe you have already ordered your kit, but you've just been holding on to it. You haven't started yet because you're worried you won't be able to do it perfectly. Or maybe you are right in the thick of it. You've started rebalancing yourself or your child, but you have this big, heavy cloud over you. You feel like you're falling short, like you're not doing it right. You're not doing enough. Wherever you are, I want you to know this. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are here. You are showing up, and this is the most important part of your healing. Healing does not require perfection. I'm going to repeat what I said at the beginning. Perfectionism is the thief of progress. You are not here rebalancing to master this unattainable idea of perfectionism. You found your way here because you want to heal. And part of healing is letting this idea of being perfect go. What healing really requires is showing up. It requires courage. It requires a willingness to start exactly where you are, even if it feels messy and even if it feels imperfect. This is exactly what we are here to talk about today. I want to have a real and honest conversation with you about the food side of your rebalance, why it matters, why it can feel so overwhelming at first, and why it should never be the reason you hold yourself back from starting. And before we dive in deep, I want to take a moment here to validate where you might be. If you find yourself or your child reaching for processed, sugary, carb-heavy foods, you've not failed. This is not about willpower or discipline. This is about biology. When the gut is out of balance, the harmful overgrowth, so these are the bad bacteria, yeast, mold, fungus, and parasites in your body, they become dominant and they are loud. They communicate directly with your brain or your child's brain, and they drive intense cravings for the exact foods that they need to stay alive. They scream, feed me, and your brain listens. This is the work we are here to do. We are here to heal the gut so that those loud signals start to quiet. As you begin rebalancing your good microbiome, so these are the beneficial bacteria that support your energy, your clarity, your mood, and your immune system. They begin to grow stronger. And when the good bacteria thrive, they are able to communicate louder with the brain. They crave fresh fruits and vegetables and whole grains so that your body will naturally start wanting these foods more. The more balanced your gut becomes, the more your cravings begin to shift naturally. This healing is about creating a gut environment that supports change from the inside out. This is not about shaming ourselves or feeling guilty that we're not doing it right or we don't have enough willpower. There is a reason that your body or your child's body is craving all of that processed food. It's because there is an overgrowth of the bad and it's screaming so loud at your brain to feed it. This is the work we are here to do. This is why the food recommendations are part of your rebalance, not to make things harder, not to overwhelm you, but to give your body the strongest foundation to heal. So let's talk about the food recommendations. When you are rebalancing, there are 6 main things we recommend avoiding: gluten, dairy, eggs, refined sugar, ketchup, and alcohol. These are the foods that feed the bad overgrowths in your body that we are trying to eliminate. So, cutting them out helps enhance, helps speed up your healing process. And I know you might be thinking, what about sourdough? What about organic sourdough bread? What about organic raw dairy? What about organic backyard fresh eggs? I hear these questions all the time. So before we move further, I want to just address this right up front. The truth is, even the highest quality versions of these foods still feed the harmful overgrowths that we are working to clear. Your body does not recognize raw or organic any different when it comes to yeast and bad bacteria. Gluten, dairy, and eggs all feed the imbalance, so you want to avoid them altogether. Refined sugar acts the same way. Even small amounts of sugar keeps yeast, mold, and bad bacteria alive longer. This is table sugar, white sugar, turbinose sugar, raw sugar, any sugar that is sourced from sugar cane or sugar beets. Ketchup seems like such a silly thing to be on this list, but it is included because so many people, especially children who have imbalances, have a very strong love for it. And the way that tomatoes break down in the process of becoming ketchup turns them into a sugar that feeds the bad overgrowths, just like refined sugar does. This is why your child might want ketchup with every single meal. This is why I get so much pushback about ketchup being on the list, is because when you have overgrowths in your body, too much bad bacteria, yeast, mold, fungus, or parasites, these foods love ketchup. And then alcohol. It directly feeds yeast and burdens your detox organs, especially your liver, which is already working really hard to process everything that's dying off during your rebalance. So it's really powerful to cut out alcohol. Before we keep going, I just want to clarify here. The food piece is not about being extreme. It's not a trendy diet. It is about creating the best environment possible for your body to heal. The beautiful thing is, there are so many supportive foods you can lean into. In place of refined sugars, you can enjoy foods sweetened with organic pure maple syrup, coconut sugar, or a little raw honey. Fruit will become your new best friend. It not only satisfies the sweet cravings that the overgrowths are sending to your brain, but it does so in a way that supports your healing. Fruits like bananas are especially powerful because they contain natural antimicrobials that help heal your gut. The goal here is not deprivation. It is about nourishment. If you are breastfeeding while rebalancing your child to heal your child's body, the food piece is really important. Everything you eat passes through your milk to your baby. So your intentional food choices become their healing. When you avoid these foods, you give your child's body the absolute best environment to heal. And I want you to know this. It is so much more enjoyable than you might be imagining right now. It is normal to feel intimidated at the beginning, but once you get your head out of the way and you just go for it, it becomes the most intentional, satisfying, and genuinely fun way to live. You start to see your meals as opportunities to nourish and to celebrate your body instead of as something you have to control. Healing through food becomes empowering, it becomes joyful, and it becomes something you look forward to. And of course, your child can still have a birthday cake. You just have to learn a new way to make it microbiome friendly. Okay, now I want you to hear this. I spent all of this time so far really teaching you why the food part is so important. But even though committing to avoiding these parts is so powerful, it is not required. I'm going to repeat that. It is powerful, but it is not required. You are here to start, and you have to start where you are. This is the beautiful part of healing. If making all the food changes at once feels overwhelming, just start with the supplements. Start there, because starting somewhere is always better than not starting at all. I want to speak directly to the part of you that might already be thinking, well, if I don't have to change my food, I'm just not going to do it. You are the leader of your journey. You get to decide how deeply you commit to this process. Some people go through their entire first rebalance without changing a thing about their food, and they still experience incredible healing. Some start where they are, eating all the same foods that they always have been, and slowly making shifts along the way. And they end up experiencing the most beautiful healing, the most powerful transformation because they stayed open. Others go all in with the food side while they are still waiting for the supplements to arrive, and they find that they feel better than they ever have. You do you, but just start and stay open to what might happen. Healing is not about locking yourself into a rigid plan. It's about allowing the process to shift you from the inside out. So, we went over this a little bit earlier, but I want to explain a little deeper what actually happens when you rebalance your gut. Right now, your body has an overgrowth of bad bacteria, yeast, mold, fungus, and possibly even parasites. And these overgrowths are loud. They send strong signals to your brain demanding the food that feed them. That is why you crave gluten, dairy, sugar, and even eggs. And it's not about willpower. It is about biology. The bad bacteria are literally asking you to feed them. But when you begin rebalancing, everything starts to shift. As the bad overgrowths clear, the good microbiome gets a chance to grow stronger. And as that healing microbiome rebuilds, it starts speaking louder to your brain than the bad overgrowths. This good bacteria thrive on whole living foods. And as your gut shifts, your cravings will too. Your body begins to want the foods that support your healing instead of the foods that feed the overgrowths. I want to pause here to answer a really common question. Does this food piece, does this have to be forever? No, it does not. The goal here is to restore balance inside your body so that you can live in freedom. You can trust your body and you can feel empowered in your choices. Many people rebalance and heal and then resume eating all of the eliminated foods and they thrive. Some people, including my family, fall so in love with how good they feel with these foods eliminated that it becomes a lifestyle. This is what happened for us. But this is not about forcing yourself into something forever. It's about giving your body what it needs right now to heal and thrive. So don't let your brain get busy and get in your way thinking about what's next, what's way down the road. Be right here in it. Your brain is going to try to complicate this process to keep you safe and in your familiar zone. Even if it's uncomfortable, your brain feels safe here. And healing happens when you are willing to step outside of what is familiar and trust in a new way. My cookbook really helps simplify the food side of your healing. And I just want to clarify here because I get asked this a lot. Our family personally follows a plant based lifestyle, and the cookbook reflects that. But you do not have to be plant based to rebalance successfully. The food recommendations, again, are about removing what feeds overgrowths, not about eliminating entire food groups or following a specific diet label. You can modify the recipes in the cookbook to accommodate whatever diet or lifestyle your family thrives on. I'll make sure to link this cookbook in the show notes if you want to check it out. Before we close today, I want to speak to those of you who may have a history of eating disorders. If that is part of your story, I see you. I honor your journey because I've walked that path too. I struggled with an eating disorder for many, many years. I know how complicated and heavy the relationship with food can be, but I want to invite you to see this healing process differently. This is not about controlling your food out of fear. This is about partnering with your body in love. Healing is not about shrinking yourself. It's about nourishing yourself so fully that your body can thrive the way it was designed to. You deserve to experience that kind of freedom, and I promise you it's possible. Ultimately, We are not here to already know everything or to do everything perfectly. This is a journey. You get to own yours. You get to make this your own. And when you show up willing to simply start, willing to be open to what is going to unfold, you will be amazed at the growth and the expansion that follows. You've got this. And remember, every small choice you make matters. The choice to start is the most important. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend or a family member who's ready to lead her family's healing. Everything mentioned in this episode is linked down below for you in the show notes. Be sure to subscribe to the Nourish newsletter, also linked down below, so you never miss an episode. I will email you the latest episode every Tuesday morning. Everything shared on this show is for educational purposes only, not intended as medical advice. Until next time, trust your body and follow your gut.